Mykayla and I released my debut premiere of a music video today, and I've had a fair few questions through, so I thought I'd take a chance to answer some of them for you in a Q&A. So you guys can kind of get to know what happened behind the scenes in making the Rewritten video.
You wrote the script, but anyone could have been cast in my role. Your talk was cheap, the love we had was conditional.
First question that you guys asked was, when was it shot? I actually started shooting in December of 2024 and finished up with shooting in January 2025. You started talking about it in summer. So we had these amazing ideas of, you know, a silk dress in a field and lots of outdoor shots and things like that to really reflect that I was getting out and about. The locations are very specifically chosen for what the meaning behind them are. But we didn't actually start shooting until December, which is then winter. So I, being who I am as a person, was like, no, well, they were the original ideas, so that's what we're going with. The next question that you guys asked was, why the 3 locations? So the first location we used was the studio at the university, which was a really great opportunity to A, be indoors, and B, really be able to focus and control everything that was going on around us. So I guess that for us reflected my psyche, my inner thoughts throughout the whole process. We then moved on that same day to the streets of Amsterdam, which was a nice grey, rainy day. This was because Amsterdam holds a really special place in my heart. It's a massive part of my personal story, which I will get to later on in this video because that is another one of the questions. And the third location that we had was the place called the Heath in Utrecht, which is a massive kind of parkland. Had a lot of dunes there, a lot of forest land, so we had to carry all of our equipment about 5 kilometers through a lot of mud and trees and went through the dunes. So I set up my keyboard in the dunes there. And that kind of reflects the freedom and the openness of the situation, how it ended, what I had originally written the song about. The third question that you guys asked was what the weather was like. How do I put this nicely? It was cold. It was very, very cold, and each location, because they were shot on different days, had a completely different weather climate that we had to go through. So obviously the studio scenes were fine because they were indoors. There was a nice little heater there, so I could sing quite happily. I was happy to be dressed in what I was wearing. On that same first day, we moved to Amsterdam City, which you can see in a lot of the scenes. I am quite rugged up. You also may notice that my hair looks quite different in that part because it was raining for most of the day. So we were sitting watching the weather app constantly, trying to be like, okay, there's a break for 10 minutes here in the rain, so we're going to have to shoot this part here. It was probably about 8 degrees Celsius while we were walking around the city, finding spots that weren't too wet for me to stand or sit. That was definitely a challenge, but we got through it. The third location that we filmed in January 2025 in the Heath was 4 degrees Celsius, and I was in a silk dress. I wasn't able to really wear anything too warm underneath because it would show. It was cold. It was very cold, and what you guys don't see, I'm going to show a picture of what I looked like between takes. It's here. I was freezing, absolutely freezing. To the shoot, I wore 3 pairs of pants, so a pair of thermals, a pair of leggings, and a pair of tracksuit pants. I wore a pair of a thermal top, I wore a hoodie, and I wore a puffer jacket. I was wearing 2 pairs of socks at the time, a pair of mittens, and some Doc Martens. That was just to get to where we were going. I then set everything up, and I told the guys, I was like, you have about half an hour of my time. That's honestly all I can do. You can't really tell with how my fingers are moving, but they were frozen solid. I was so cold while we were filming that it was like, we ran the song through once. I sang in that weather. We had to stop, jacket on, mittens on, the whole kit. Had warm water to keep my hands warm. From there, another take, and I only made sure to break for about 5 minutes at a time because I just wanted to get it done. And then even after we finished all of the takes and stuff, putting all of the clothes on again, to get my core temperature back to like a normal amount, it was about an hour and a half when I got home and got in the shower. But the location looked so good that I was like, we have no other option, I'm just gonna do this. So the next question that you guys asked was, why Amsterdam? And this is probably another video in itself, but I wrote Rewritten after ending a relationship, not just a relationship, but an engagement, with someone who didn't quite understand my core beliefs and my core morals and what I really wanted to do. So I'm obviously a musician, and I had been told by said person that I had to give that up to be a wife. I realised that that's not what I wanted after a trip to the Netherlands last year with my band. It was then that I decided that I loved what I did too much to just give that up. So I moved back to Amsterdam in March 2024. And when I was chatting to the crew about different spots and different locations and things that are really close to my heart, that was one of them, because walking the streets of Amsterdam is somewhere that I made one of the biggest decisions of my life so far. Next question you guys had was why the colour changes at the end. For me, and what I was trying to reflect with the closing of the book turning into colour, was the closing of a chapter. That was the end of one part of my life that I will not allow to happen again. So a lot of it is in black and white because I have a little bit of a grey area, I guess. It also wasn't the most positive part of my life. That whole relationship that this song is about wasn't always positive. So the closing of the book for me and me walking off in colour is just a reflection of what is to come. The next question you guys asked was why Rewritten? So I have 2 songs out on Spotify at this moment, with a third on the way. And I chose to make a video for Rewritten because I thought that there was so much that could go into this one video, but also that would reflect what I was trying to say in the song itself. The next question you guys had was who styled me for the video? So being an independent musician, we can't afford stylists just yet. So everything that you see in that video is styled by myself. Tracksuit in the first scene and the first half of the music video was actually, if you haven't read it, it says welcome to the shit show. My best friend made that for me, a hand embroidered welcome to the shit show on a hoodie. We both moved overseas together with no idea, no plan, just wanting a bit more than living in our hometowns anymore. So we moved to Europe, because why not? So yes, for my birthday last year, she hand embroidered me a hoodie that says welcome to the shit show, and then on each sleeve says fucking lucky, because we believe that if you manifest hard enough that you are lucky, then you're gonna be lucky. The last question that you guys had for me was how long did it take to shoot this video? I got in contact with the film crew in July of 2024. And obviously release day was today, which is the 15th of February in Europe and the 16th of February in Australia. So honestly, the process has been ongoing since then. Between first meeting to kind of coming up with ideas, I was constantly listening to the song and seeing what visually I wanted to be reflected in a video, through to the shooting. So it was 3 shooting days of about 6 or 7 hours each. And then from there, the editing and things like that took 3 or 4 weeks, and I wanted to do a really strong pre-release, so I did that as well, of 2.5 weeks, and then we released the video on YouTube today. So if you haven't already, go over to my channel and have a look. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, go and listen to the song by itself. I have a really exciting single coming out end of March. More news on that very soon. But please like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think.